Hey guys, it's Bobby here at Gear Nation. Today's episode, we have a great guy. His name is Derek. He has an amazing YouTube channel you need to check out. Please subscribe, check in at Vice Grip Garage. Of course, there's a couple questions I want to go over with you. The first is very important is, what is Vice Grip Garage and where did the name come from, Derek?
So Vice Grip Garage really started as a classic car company. We were doing some small builds and restorations, and it kind of has now evolved into a YouTube show as well. Uh, about a year ago, that kind of took off, but our main focus is finding and saving derelict cars, pulling them out of trees, barns, anything forgotten or is bound to be crushed or parted out. We do our best to either fully restore it, get it back on the road again, and let somebody else enjoy it, or meaningfully part the vehicle out and make sure that we can actually use that vehicle properly. So, but now that YouTube's really taken off, that's kind of taken more of the precedence, I guess you could say these days.
And so where did the name Vice Grip Garage come from? Just you like using vice grips or, is there something else to that?
Yeah, so it's legitimately my favorite tool. I mean, a guy's got to have 7, 8, 9 pair of vice grips around.
Yep, yep.
I mean, it's a punch, it's a hammer, it's a plier, it's everything you need. No, it's my favorite tool, and I wanted to incorporate it somehow. And also, I think it lets people know that we try to have fun. We're lighthearted about what we do, and we're not about take this ultimately seriously and stuff like that. There's two things that kind of influenced where a guy's at today. I grew up on a dirt farm way northwest North Dakota, basically Canada. I could throw a rock and hit Canada. And I learned right away at a young age, if you needed a part, you make it, or you pull it off of something else because we're not driving to town. So I watched my dad, pull out derelict cars and trucks and make them into daily drivers. We pulled engines out of pickups to put into combines just to finish harvest. I mean, it was some true MacGyver stuff.
Oh, I love it.
And then the second thing is in high school, landed my dream job, which I worked for a guy named Rogers Weifel, and he had about 140, 150 classic cars
Wow.
ready for restoration. And we were doing Mustang 2 front end swaps right when they were first coming out. We were doing, big block engine swaps. We were doing lacquer paint, custom interior. And I got to do that 6 days a week.
Wow.
He's the one that really, you know, taught me if we don't save these cars, who's going to do it? At first, I didn't get it. We'd drive an hour to go pull a 50 olds out of a tree roll that had no glass, no title. And I asked him, why are we doing this? And he says, well, if we don't do it, who's going to? We need to save these cars. And
That's the truth, man.
yeah, he's kind of the one I blame for myself.
From watching the channel, definitely feels like a very wholesome channel. You have some really good humor there. I get it. I love it. The whole time I was sitting here cracking up with the boys. Definitely becoming a fan myself. I know that there must be a little bit of a struggle. How is it between running the YouTube and running the garage?
Yeah, so when we started out doing YouTube, we only did about an episode a month, mainly because I don't know how any of that's. I still don't know how to run cameras. But it was about an episode a month. We just started thinking, maybe we'll start showing how we get a lot of these projects back to the shop. So our main focus was customer projects and builds. And I did a '69 Chevelle. I don't know where I drove it home from, Illinois or something. And it was literally overnight we exploded. And we started thinking, well, we got to start putting up more content. So now the roles have kind of reversed. We're basically full-time YouTube, and we've dialed it back to just a handful of customer builds a year to give us time to do it. But every morning is kind of chaotic, trying to figure out what's priority.
Yeah, I can only imagine. That sounds like a pretty awesome life to be playing with toys all day long. That's probably all of our viewers and listeners right now. They're listening in and like, man, this guy's living the dream. So that's pretty incredible, Derek.
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
So any kind of crazy horror stories that happen in the shop? Something ever happened in the shop that just, you just can't erase out of your mind?
Well, Yeah, I think the most recent wound that's kind of still healing for a guy.
Yeah.
We bought a '72 Chevelle, uh, Indianapolis, I think it was, and I buy all my stuff over the phone, sight unseen. I do the typical questions and just say, "Hey, I'll buy it." And I was told this car literally had rust in the quarters in the trunk and was completely restorable. So bought it, packed the truck, drove down there, and I could literally put my fist through the frame.
I was afraid you were going to say something like that.
It was, I think, 6 or 7 different spots.
Well, let's bring that down to about 4.2% chance of working.
I couldn't get out of it. My word is my bond. I bought it, so I bought it.
God
I ended
bless
up driving the thing home actually with a little bit of duct tape and bicycle. So we're still building that, but there's always a surprise. It seems every day the project, goes off the rails. But
So that's probably your scariest build right now. You're still working on it today. What's your favorite build to date? What would be your favorite one?
my favorite one, just because of how it ended up and also the story of how I got it, is a '72 Chevelle.
Another
And
one.
they were actually using it as a step stool to get to the hayloft in the barn. And the, the roof was caved into the headrest. I mean, it was.
Oh my God.
But ended up a supercharged 4-speed car, custom interior, one-off dash.
Oh, that is so cool. So what's the future plans? What do you have going on there? Any big things happen at the shop?
So we're staying the course right now, but we've got a couple main builds that we're doing. We've got the '72 Chevelle, which we call Independence. That's going to be a dedicated burnout car. And then we're building a '74 crew cab C20 pickup. And that's going to kind of be our tow pig and shop truck. And the goal is next summer is to get a little bit more involved in shows. We want to kind of share our passion and make sure we're getting, our generation of children involved, because
Yep.
if we don't do it, hot rodding is going to die. Someone's
Yep.
got to step up and save these cars. And
Got to pass the torch, man.
yeah, so we're planning on doing like Drag Week, Hot Rod Power Tour, Rocky Mountain Drag Week, LS Fest. Of course, we're going to get to Leadfoot City as much as we can.
Love it, man. Love it. So tell me a little about your shop truck really quick. You said you have a shop truck. I think the boys over at Monster did something with you in the past over there.
Yeah. So we're really excited. So we've got a Bayer built LS racing engine we're putting in there.
Yes.
We've got a Monster transmission. We're putting, custom rear end. It's going to be dropped, custom interior. It's just one of those things. Another project where.
Yeah, I was watching that episode you were working on. I seen the rust on the frame there and the patch you were doing, and definitely some amazing work you do in that shop, man. As soon as I heard you were coming on the show, I got so excited. I know all the guys are excited. All the listeners are going to be so excited to hear you. You have our full support. I heard you might be coming out to a couple of our other events. A lot of things just amazing things you're doing for us over here, and we have full support back to you over there, Derek. Yeah. So, is there anything else? I know on our side we do prefer custom builds. I personally like custom builds. For you, what do you prefer doing when you pull something out? Would you like to do a full off the wall crazy custom build, or just a full restoration to OEM?
It really depends on the vehicle. And one of the things, that really draws me into cars is not just the car itself, but the story. Every car has a history. Someone got married in it,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. So I look at the car, I look at what it was, kind of the history behind it, and then I make a decision. A lot of what we do is OEM or resto mod kind of builds.
Yeah.
I do some off the wall, zoomies through the hood, turbo kind of stuff. But it's not often. The area that I'm in, it's more OEM stuff does really good, and
Yeah.
four-wheel stuff does really good.
Do you prefer one over the other, or you're right there in the middle?
I'm kind of in the middle. In my personal fleet,
Seem that way.
mild to wild. I've got everything from a Model
You
B
enjoy it all, man. A true enthusiast. You enjoy it all.
Yep. Every make and model too. So I'm looking for a '56 Buick Special two-door hardtop, 322 nail head. Had one, did a full restoration, and we actually lost that car to a fire, ironically on 4th of July. Um, sold it, and that's just the one that got away from me. So I've always had my eyes open looking for that specific car or one really, really close so I can build
What
it.
year Buick was it again?
56.
56 Buick. Guys listening in now, if you have a 56 Buick, please message Derek, let him know that is what he's looking for.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yep.
Awesome, man. Well, I know myself, I'm going to be tuning in. I'm going to be liking and subscribing all the videos that you have going on. You do amazing content. Please, everyone, do tune in to Vice Grip Garage on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and do the same thing for us over here at Gear Nation. And guys, thanks again for tuning in. Thank you so much, Derek, for taking the time to talk with us over here. You have our full support. Keep doing an amazing job over there, and anything you need, just give us a holler. Thanks again, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Derek. Talk to you soon, buddy.